Make sure the YouTube's going. I don't think that's my neighbor, Ray. Connect with that software. All right. Okay, we are live and thrive. Let's put you in the bottom.
How about now? No? How about now? Better? Ah, well, hey, what a warm up. At least the closed captions worked. Let's start all that over again, everybody. Just when I thought I figured out all the tech, I've got to be grateful for my moderators keeping me on check. Thank you, Mrs. Poops McClure. Uh, as I was saying, we've got a heck of a lot of events coming up to you this June here with Nesta Friends, starting with our regularly scheduled first Thursday show, June 5th, with Sketch by Sketch. We're going to be doing a Lore Olympus. That's right, the number one selling webtoon. We're doing a figure draw inspired by Lore Olympus. The theme is called Myth. Tickets are on sale right now. Make sure to get them before they go. And if you haven't seen the creator space, the Teapot at Geeky Teas, this is a perfect time to check out why it's such a perfect venue for what we do with Sketch by Sketch here at Nest of Friends. That's going to be 7:30 at Geeky Teas in Burbank, California on June 5th. Tickets are on sale right now. You scan this code right here takes you to the website with all the dates that and all the info on a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about right now. June 11th, we're going to be doing a free drop-in and draw over at Moby's Coffee and Tea in North Hollywood. That's right on the Burbank border. So come join us. That's a free event. It's just an excuse to hang out and do some late night doodling while having some coffee. How's it going, Dipsy Doodle? Good to see you. Glad you're back in the chat. Then June 14th, a mere few days after that, we're going to be doing our very first drawing workshop. I'm going to be teaching. I know, right? For the first time in a long time, I'm going to be teaching an intro to figure drawing workshop. You can find tickets for that also on the website. It's going to be at 2:30 at Moby's Coffee and Tea. Seating is limited, and it's going to be a Saturday. So all experience levels are welcome, whether it's your first time drawing and you want to like pick up some like basic, like rudimentary, like skill sets, come join us. Or if you've been drawing for a long time and you feel like, you know, I want to learn to get faster, I want to learn to get more conscious with my line mileage, this is a perfect workshop for everyone. It is, no matter what your skill level, it's all the stuff that I have picked up on. Oh, is that my buddy? It sounds like my buddy is outside. I am saying that to an audience member of one who is in the chat right now. I just heard some familiar cacaws in the tree. So maybe one of my members, Mrs. Poops McClure, can go say hi to our friend Buddy, who's waiting for me on the branch. I'll tell you more about Buddy in a second. But yeah, we've got that coming up. We're going to be teaching a workshop. It's Intro to Figure Drawing. It's based on my 10 years of experience in figure drawing. So it's all practical stuff for when you come to a drink and draw, or if it's your first time walking into a workshop and you just kind of want to learn like how to pick up a gesture, how to like decipher some shape language so you can make a technique and a style for yourself. Come join. It'll be fun. And at the very least, it'll be an excuse to do what you already love to do, but with a little bit more guidance and, you know, a little bit more support in like a safe communal space. This is not a place where you're going to be graded. This is not a place where you're going to be picked apart. This is a place where I'm going to offer you the assistance that you've always been wanting, or, you know, just that quick tune-up and check-in that you might have been missing, that you've been out of class for a while, you've been graduated, you're too used to like drawing for other people and not drawing for yourself. This is a perfect workshop for you to learn how to draw for yourself. And then later in the month, this will be our third Friday show over at Lawless Brewing Company. So the first Thursday at Geeky Teas and the third Friday at Lawless, that's our regular sketch by sketch programming. Every month there'll be at least 2 drink and draws at either of those spots at either of those dates. June 20th, our third Friday drink and draw. This is going to be at Lawless Brewing Company. We're going to be doing a Last of Us themed figure drawing. We're going to have a clicker and an Abby. So Get your tickets now for all of that. If it's not up yet, it will be up on the website. So make sure to scan the QR code or go to nestofriends.org so that you can secure your spot for all of this amazing programming we've got going on. And then we've got a free community figure drawing at Catnip Flea. The date is TBD because Catnip Flea is in their TBD. But if you follow us, you'll know when it is, and we'll make sure to let you know. We're gonna be doing. Last time we did Catnip Flea, we did bracelet making. Okay, good. I'm glad Buddy got his snack. We'll talk about Buddy in a second because that's a really special story for all of us here at Nest of Friends. And then after that, we'll get into some squirrel drawing. We've got some hot deals going on right now. So all those dates I just told you about, give your ears a listen and make sure you can see if these deals apply to you. So we've got some hot deals going on. 20% off our MIF. That's our Lore Olympus tickets. Thursday through Sunday, June 1st. So if you buy them now, between now and the 1st of June, a mere few days, you can get 20% off on our early bird special. And there's a 2-for-1 on Out for Blood. So if you want to get Last of Us, here's how it works. Between now and the 1st, you can get 20% off of our Lore Olympus theme. That's our first Thursday coming up next month. And also, you have a chance to get a 2-for-1 on our Last of Us figure drawing towards the end of the month on that third Friday. That's a great deal for discounted tickets. We've got 35% off of all summer Sketch by Sketch figure drawing events with a season pass if you buy between now and July 3rd only. All of that information is at the links in our bio. So, and if you need more information about it, check out the QR code right here. Just give this a scan, nestofriends.org. All the info, all the ticks. If you're on Instagram, follow Nest of Friends, follow Sketch by Sketch. Link in the bio will take you to all the things. Alrighty. I definitely was muted for the first couple of minutes, just when I thought I had everything sussed out. Okay. And according to Miss Poops McClure, all the early bird discounts on The Last of Us is a first come, first serve. So that's limited. So grab them now before they disappear, because they may disappear before the deadline. And I want to make sure anyone and everyone who wants to come to our events gets a chance to get the best deal possible so that they don't feel necessarily that huge dent in their wallet. We're doing everything we can to give you as much as we can here at Sketch by Sketch, and we are really grateful for all of our volunteer staff who have joined us along the way, from our photographers to our new social media staff. We're growing. I wish we were growing in certain ways, but we're growing in the best ways possible we can with what we've got. So I'm really grateful for everyone in our community who has been so supportive, welcoming, and loving. You're all such amazing and beautiful people. I'm really inside and out grateful for all the overwhelming support we get doing this. And thank you all for being here tonight. I said I would tell you about Buddy, so I'm going to tell you about Buddy. So Buddy, I think it was about a week ago, maybe a little bit more than that. Buddy is our new Raven friend. He is a Raven, not a crow, because a week and change ago, I came outside the apartment. He is a Raven, yeah. I came outside the apartment, and across the street in my neighbor's yard, there was this Raven who was just hanging out in the on their front yard, and he was making this very, you may have heard it if you picked it up on microphone earlier. He was making this very, I've never heard a Raven make this kind of noise, but it was more of like it was like he was attempting to honk like a goose. It was very much, it almost sounded in pain. Well, upon further inspection, this poor Raven who was hanging out in my neighbor's yard had some distressed feathers on his head. And upon further investigation from a safe distance, it appeared that he had had some kind of altercation. The poor fella couldn't open one eye on his side. I have yet to get a close enough inspection of it, but I kind of believe he's lost his eye in that one side. It looked like he might have gotten into a scuffle. Either it was with another raven, but at the time that we had found him, he was being harassed by a couple of neighborhood crows. There is a crow's nest in our other neighbor's yard, so I could hear that baby calling every morning for food. And I got the impression that maybe the parents of the crows were looking out for their nest, and they must have either seen Buddy like flying by and decided that they needed to do a little bit more like neighborhood security for themselves. And, you know, poor Buddy, he just was too afraid to fly. So he was kind of grounded, and I couldn't tell if the crows were the ones who had caused him to lose his eye, but they definitely were keeping him from being able to recoup and rest, which he was clearly a bit distressed. I eventually find a way to, because I'm a Doolittle. That's the thing I've learned about turning 40 is I befriend animals a lot easier than I befriend people. And so I kind of coax him over here. I throw a few peanuts. That gets his interest. He doesn't fly across the street. He hops across the street towards our property. And eventually he manages to get himself up into our tree. We have this tree in the front yard of our property. We call her Cressida. I wish I knew what she was. I want to say she's an oak, but she's this very beautiful, like dense and wonderful tree. I know how I sound. I'm grateful for it. Well, so Buddy is clearly hurt. He hasn't flown in my vision at this point. I haven't seen him fly. So I don't call, because apparently in Burbank you have to send a DM to animal control. So I DM animal control on their website. I get a response immediately, and somebody comes by in about like an hour after I sent it. Buddy is still up in the tree. You can see his feathers are tuffled and he's missing an eye. But after talking with the guy from animal control, I think his name was Officer Collier. Officer Collier, thank you for being there. He wasn't going to go up in a ladder to basically take a raven out of his natural habitat. And we both agreed if he was able to fly up there, he's probably okay. And he really just needed time to recover from whatever the incident was that probably caused him to lose his eye. And, thankfully that was the case. Animal control left. I spent the rest of the night just like an hour or so hanging out with Buddy, letting him know he was okay. I did have to chase off a crow that was trying to get close and basically fuck with him. So after scaring off a couple of crows and giving Buddy a little bit of time to rest, he eventually did fly away, perfectly healthy. No one bothered him. And I thought that was, my time with Buddy. I was really grateful that I was able to help him and hang out with him. And then the darndest thing happened. About 2 days later, Buddy comes back. Same spot, right in the tree. He makes the same little goose sound that he always makes. And, I feel like I made a raven friend. And then that was the second time. A couple days go by and, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I just assumed maybe Buddy was just passing by and he just wanted to let me know he was doing a little bit better. His eye was still about the same, and his feathers were still tuffled, but he didn't seem to have as hard a time as he did. Well, a couple days after that, Buddy comes on right back. And there he is, right up in the tree, same spot. Even my neighbors are now talking about Buddy and telling me that, hey, I saw him drinking out of a puddle in the front yard. And I'm like, hey, I'm just glad he knows this is a safe place for him. And lo and behold, as confirmed by Mrs. Poops McClure, who just went outside to check that out for me, apparently Buddy is right outside, hanging out in Cressida, doing okay, getting his snacks. And thankfully, he's waiting in the tree for me right now. I don't know if I can leave a Twitch stream to go say hi to Buddy, but hopefully he might still be there before it gets too dark when we end at 8. But yeah, I have made a Raven friend. So I am really super, of all the things that have happened, gosh, in the last couple of weeks, couple of months, even the last couple of years, it was a nice little special moment I got to have with nature. And even now that I know Buddy's out there and I hear the crows cawing, it makes me want to go shake my fist at the crows because, I never thought something like this would happen. And I also, have been amazed and impressed by all the things that Jen and I have been able to do the last couple of years with Sketch by Sketch and with Nest of Friends, things we never thought would happen. And the people that we have met and the friends that we've made along that journey and the people that we're going to continue to meet. I was just talking to our friend Libby, the one of the owners of Moby's Coffee and Tea, also the producer and creator of Roll the Dice Variety. Every third Thursday, every month in Burbank at LA Connection, go see a late night variety show live and support live productions right here in Burbank, of all places. I know, right? Media capital of the world, but there's one venue and there's one regular live variety show, and it's Roll the Dice. Make sure to go check them out. Tell them Sketch and Jen sent you from Nest of Friends and Sketch by Sketch. But I was texting Libby, an amazing composer, also about what our podcast theme song is supposed to sound like. So, everyone is so generous with their creativity and their time and their support in helping us grow this amazing thing, like this Nest of Friends, this Sketch by Sketch journey. All the stuff that we create with those things has really been not just a boon but a blessing to our lives, and I hope that it offers just as much to you wherever you are. Even if you can't join us live, I really hope that doing this Twitch stream can give something back to all of you as much as what we have been able to provide has already given back to us. So without further ado, we were talking about drawing some squirrels, so I think it's time to get into squirrel drawing. Let's see, I got a new configuration tonight, so let's try not to break anything. Oh, how's it going, guys? Now the chat is popping off. There's everybody. I think we're all ready to draw some squirrels now, so let's give a quick transition. Ooh, see, now I'm blocking my face. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta make sure you guys can see me too. Oh, buddy. How's everyone doing tonight in the chat? Let me know where you are and how you are. Yeah, that's my video capture device. Oh, that's right, because I deleted it. There I am. Hey, there's that face. All right, Dipsy Doodle, I'll get into squirrel drawing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to deny you the content you were all craving. So this is from last week. We did some live sketching. We talked about our ideas. We built it out. And now we're just gonna draw over this and help this progress. Oh, no-ho? Oh, we're playing some Zelda. We're waiting for some spouses. Let's deny that. Oh, you've been trying the different method of holding the pencil? Oh, good. I'm glad. I told you it takes a little bit of adjustment, but if you can find a way to hold your stylus or your pencil this way in between these fingers in this manner versus this way versus the traditional capitalist way we've all been taught, I promise you, everybody, less carpal tunnel. You'll feel like you're relearning how to draw for a little bit if you can commit to it. But I really do believe if you commit to it, you'll discover a whole better way for yourself to draw. So thank you, Kausta, for sharing that. I'm glad to hear that that's worked out for you. Yeah, everybody, I'm not stopping you from cursing in the chat, but maybe I need to fix that. We'll figure it out. Just don't be mean with it. I didn't kick anybody out. Anybody? I did. Wait a minute. I blocked the term MFer? I'm sorry. I'll undo that once I know how to undo that. Sorry, Lollabotomy. I didn't mean to censor you. I'm still learning what I'm doing. All right. But yeah, if you recognize this from last week, this is what we rough drew for our squirrel adventure with Tipsy and Tootie. This is actually page 2. Let's go back real quick. I'll show you page 1. This one's from a ways back. I kind of want to redraw this one a little bit, but I want to work on what we built last time. So this is kind of the second issue, second page to that web comic that we built for Tipsy and Tootie. So now we're drawing digitally tonight. So if this irks everybody, I'm sorry, but hopefully we'll be able to hang out and chat a little bit more. He says as he tries not to distract himself, constantly looking up and down. Caca, that's a curse in bird. You're right. That is a curse in bird. Poor buddy. I hope he's still okay out there. I'm fighting every urge to go see him real quickly, but I know the second I do, you might lose me forever. But thank you, Mrs. Poos McClure, for confirming that our buddy is okay. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, I'll probably talk about it more. But yeah, I never thought I'd have a raven friend. Let alone a one-eyed raven friend. Oh, hey, Breezy. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, bud. More people keep showing up. It makes me want to tell the Raven story all over again. Alrighty. That's not what I want to do. That's the layer, right? Yeah, that's the right layer. Oh, alpha. Stupid alpha. I'm just redrawing these rectangles for our panels. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Buddy is definitely a one-eyed raven right now. I don't know if he lost the eye or if it's just like really in bad shape and it's on a healing journey. But poor fella, when we found him, he was doing this where he kept trying to look where he was going, trying to stare with his other good eye. If it weren't so pathetic, it would be cute because he kind of, when we found him, he was just kind of not hobbling, but he was like hopping almost in a circle. But he can still fly. He can still scavenge. He definitely still loves a peanut. Oh, one-eyed animals. One-eyed animals and three-legged dogs seem to be a trend here in Burbank. I've seen Last couple times I've gone walking, I've seen a couple of three-legged dogs. There's one dog who walks around here all the time.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Buddy's still in the tree.
Oh, good. My producing partner, Jen, Mrs. Poops McClure, famously.
He's literally right here.
Is he? Guys, gals, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pop off for a second. I'm gonna give you a live Buddy update in a minute.
Waiting for you to come out.
I gotta go say hi to Buddy. I will be back in 2 seconds, everybody.
You want me to go in there?
Yeah, come in here, Jen. Come say hi to everyone.
I put the nuts here in case.
Go say hi, Jen. Buddy, I'm streaming right now, bud. You look really good, though. You fixed your hair.
I don't know where the camera is. Hello. I'm not camera ready, but Sketch is talking to a bird right now. So,
Hey, bud.
anybody have any questions?
We're way
Thank
off
you.
script.
Hi, Sarah. I'm trying to read. Oh my god. Buddy. I think one-eyed ravens are the coolest ravens, just so you know.
Buddy,
He was waiting for you.
he's staring at me.
Literally, he was not going to leave until he saw Sketch.
I love you. I'm really grateful.
Can you hear him talking to the raven?
Do you want to come and be on the stream?
I was trying to get him to come over and eat snacks by the studio, but I think he just wanted to see Sketch.
Jen brought you some.
This is the effect that Sketch has on Burbank animals.
We got Jen. Look, she cracked all these.
No, I did not crack all those walnuts.
Okay.
No, those are my baking
So
walnuts.
Jen is giving you.
I
baking
sacrificed my
walnuts.
baking walnuts for the raven.
All these baking walnuts. are-
Crows and ravens can do geometry. They're smarter than me because I can't.
Yeah, if you want some, come on down.
Is he coming down?
He looks like he wants to.
He might come
Come on
down.
down, bud.
If he's close enough, we'll get him on camera.
Yeah, I mean, look.
I put the food in front of the door, so maybe he'll come over here.
Right. He looks like he's gonna take.
Anybody got any raven questions? Any questions for Buddy?
Buddy, we're taking questions for you.
Any geometry questions for Buddy?
Buddy, how do you find the hypotenuse of a triangle?
At least now that he's seen Sketch, maybe he'll feel that he can move on for the day.
I'm in
But
here, buddy. If
he
you
definitely
wanna
did come by to say hello because he was not gonna leave. Sarah says, "What's up, my guy?"
Our friend Sarah says, "What's up? Is your eye better? Did your eye heal? I can't tell. It looked like you were looking at me with your other eye."
Sketch is investigating Buddy's other injured eye.
Come on, bud. You want to come down? You just want to sit there and puff
He
your
he
thumb?
just wants to know that you're here.
I'm here. I'm right in here.
So we'll see if he comes down. But that's the status update. I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to streaming. You're more than welcome to come hang out. Okay? All right. All right, everybody.
Well, at least he knows you're in here.
I'm gonna leave the door open in case he does. Okay. Well, hey, everybody. Hi, Mega Dragon. Welcome. For those who don't know, we just our buddy Raven, the buddy. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. My buddy Raven. How do I talk? My Raven buddy, who is named Buddy, has made an impromptu drop by, which is rare because since we met him last week when we found him getting bullied by some crows, he's been on a healing journey. I think his eye is healed. I think it's healing. He didn't seem to do that head turning thing to look at me. I think he was actually looking at me with the other eye, which is great because, you know, as cool as it would have been to have seen a raven with an eye patch, yes, he is healing. But now I'm leaving the garage door open to all of my neighbors and nature in case Buddy wants to come and join us. I will do my best. I've actually, so good news, especially for our friend Whimsy Doodles. I did actually figure out the QuickTime thing. I don't know why I wasn't doing it to begin with. Probably processing, but thankfully, the old 2012 iMac laptop that I'm using is still kicking right now, despite all the things I'm putting in peripheral. So if Buddy comes down, I'll switch over to the iPhone camera and see if he can say hi. But yeah, hey, that's cool. Thanks for entertaining us, guys. We're 30 minutes in. I haven't drawn a single squirrel, so let's get back to it. And all of you, tell me how you're doing. Well, I'm glad the chat is popping off. Wow, that was nice. I needed that today. I'm glad Buddy came by. I will say one of the joys of where we live in particular is, despite how suburban rural it is, we have access to a lot of nature between, again, our tree Cressida that we have named. She's homed 4 or 5 generations of squirrels since we've been here. And now she is also given our friend Buddy a place to come and hang out and chill. So, gosh, that's really special. I'm glad I got to. Thanks for letting me go see my buddy. It's been a particularly tough week. End of the month is always tough for all the reasons. So seeing Buddy was a super good dose of serotonin just now. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. It was just me and Cow still last week, but we had a great time. So it's nice to see everyone else showing up and all of the new people joining us. Thanks for being here, Breezy. Now, I could make all of these shapes their own layer because I got to reorient them a scotch. But I'm also just doing some rough. I like to draw in iterations. So it's like even if I put my first couple of lines down, I like to rework them over and over again. Use my selection tool. Give these lines a little bit more zhuzh. But yeah, we're going to be doing a drawing workshop, kind of advancing some of the things and tips that I've shared with all of you doing these last couple of weeks. This last month, this will be our 5th live stream of our weekly series. So thank you all for being here and helping us grow. Let me know, how do we feel about Tuesday nights? Right now it works with our schedule, but I want to make sure we're keeping it friendly for other people. I'm also thinking of maybe towards the end of the month, next month, maybe I'll try it this month, doing like an end of month live stream where I just kind of like do like a longer broadcast, maybe not all day, but like at least 4 or 5 hours, where I just sit here on Twitch and, we do a little bit more than just drawing. Would love to be able to watch some stuff with you all and like talk about like critical analysis, or, just shoot the shit and look at cool stuff and then do some drawing. Let me know what you guys think. We're always trying to do more. And, when the OBS is working and all the stuff is plodding along, it's definitely a good way for me to use my zoomies. I feel like this page is a little unbalanced, so I'm just going to change this one. I think the vibe I'm going for something a little bit more heavier on this end. You know what? Just try splitting that difference. Just do it equilateral for now. Kind of keep some sense of uniformity, so that way when we break it up at the bottom, Lord knows I love to break up a bottom. What? Oh, Mega Dragon was just about to head out and have fun with swords. Blocked? Hello? Who got blocked? Me? I blocked myself? Lobotomy? Sketches blocked? What did I get blocked from? Do I unblock? I'm so confused. For what? Mods can get a ban? I don't even know what's going on. I'm glad you're all having a great time. I wasn't trying to be nasty. I don't even know what I'm doing. We've also got one of our artists working on our podcast cover art that I'm super excited about. So we got so many things going on. One of our community members is going to be helping out our producer Jen with some SEO and some social media management. So we're growing all the time. Is that why I got blocked? I feel so self-conscious right now. Taking everything in my power not to go see Buddy right now. So I'll reward myself after doing some drawing with y'all. Let's get back to drawing some squirrels. If anyone needs, just let me know and I'll pull up my squirrel reference. Here's all of my squirrel reference. Just put them over here. Make sure that gets locked so I don't accidentally move it. Look at all these squirrels. All the squirrels we've met along the way. Aww. Let's see here. Oh, now we got a new host. All right, I'm going to do some real messy sketching right now. Which, these were already messy sketches, but... Messy sketches would be your Twitch channel? Hey, there's a market for it. Oh, dad's falling into pools? That's a trend. My favorite thing is like instant justice videos, like when you see like karma come for somebody in the same like 3-minute span. Also, sometimes I'll just rewatch the Montgomery, Alabama fight video, the one where those racist white yachters are. Oh, thanks, Breezy, for the follow. Hey, I'm glad that follow button still works. Thanks for reminding us of that. But yeah, where all those racist white folk instantly get their asses handed to them by all of the black people who are just existing. I think we all know the video. I mean, look, if Pedro Pascal is just your For You page, I don't think you need to fix that algorithm. We've all seen the sleeveless cans look that he was rocking. So I think he probably added another 30 years of content just with that alone. I'm realizing that the pen I'm using and the settings on it are my usual like rendering, and I kind of wanted to get a little bit more sketchy, but I think maybe doing some outlining. Now, we talked about this. We need to be more iconic, so I think with Tootie, I'm going to make sure her ears kind of have this like angular, angry energy to it. Oh, we'd get a lot of thirsty followers. Pedro Pascal falling into a pools channel. Look, I don't endorse AI, but I'm sure there's a prompt you can put in to make that happen. Honestly, you could probably also talk to Pedro about doing it. He seems down. He'd probably have a fun time making that content. Yeah, I think with Tootie, I want her to have these kind of like not sharp, but like kind of like okay, chat. I love this de-evolution you've all gone down. And I'm grateful we can provide that space for everyone. We have a new pair of squirrels, one of whom has these very distinct round ears that we've been calling Bunny. And we are very sure that Bunny is related to her great aunt Tipsy, whom is one of the protagonists in D&D's Nuts that we're drawing right now. So it's been really nice to see someone who reminds us of our favorite squirrel. Yes, her name is Bunny. I personally think it would be spelled Bunni because Tootie is spelled Tutti, and technically she's Tootie's granddaughter because she's Sprocket's daughter. Call me crazy. But she does hop like a bunny and her ears are very long. Yes, that is the correct spelling. I guess I could also play with some tail shape language. So let's see if I can make them more iconic for Tipsy. Tipsy had a long, narrow tail. So how do I show that in this form? Here's how I'll do that. One of the reasons I like to draw over and over again is when I first do a digital trace, I'm kind of just getting in the basic shapes of each character, because I know for me, when I draw digitally, I'm usually rescaling a lot. So when I do these loose shapes, it allows me to kind of select the line language and the shape language that I really want to build off of. But before I get super detailed and super fixated on like running out every bit of line mileage, this allows me to like make some decisions, look at it at a slightly macro level and decide, okay, I think the tail should be oriented this way. I wanted it to be a little bit longer and a little bit more narrow than her sister's, so I can make it a little bit taller. Maybe too much, but I think even just doing that kind of helps. So now I can really, yeah, that I like. So now I can build off Tipsy a little bit more. I'm using Affinity Designer as opposed to Photoshop Illustrator. I cannot recommend it enough. One, you don't get the subscription fee, and you get something that can actually edit Photoshop and Illustrator files exactly the same way you would with regular Photoshop. Now, if you're a professional graphic designer, there's some interface issues and some capabilities that you can't use, but I would say it's like 97%. It's 97% like Illustrator ready. Great question, Lullabotomy. I don't think it's better. I use both. I use Procreate and I use Affinity Designer. I love Procreate if you just want to like sketch from scratch. I think it's great. I think it's a lot more intuitive. I think you get a lot more manipulation of like your raster layers. But sometimes you need a little bit more like design interface when you're doing like a Photoshop project. And I think that's when you want to use Affinity. If you get like the suite, it's Affinity Photo, which is their Photoshop killer, Affinity Designer, which is their Illustrator killer, and then Affinity Publisher, which is their Photoshop publisher. And I think you can get them once a year. They run a deal and it's like $50 for all of them. They do come out with versions. So I have version 2 and I paid for version 1. So just on brand alone, they've gotten at least $100 of my money, but that's been like over like the last 5 years. They did recently get purchased, I think last year, by Canva. And so far, knock on wood, yes, Designer is the Illustrator equivalent, and that's what I'm using right now. And and I'll go back to why I like it. For things like this, when I'm building out my references and say I wanted to like quickly switch between this and Photoshop, I just find this interface a lot more familiar. So say you come from Illustrator, but like Procreate scares you, or it doesn't have all the things you're looking for, or you don't know how to navigate it. I'm still figuring out a lot of Procreate. But my Illustrator background, when I swapped to Designer, was like 1-to-1. Couple of things to tweak to make it personable and like functional for me, but pretty much just a complete like, here's Coca-Cola, here's Pepsi. Oh, I know this. That's what Designer is for me. But yeah, I like Procreate. I wish there are things in Designer that I wish they would take from Procreate. Kind of like I love their video capture, because I can literally, even if it's not for like making content, just rewatching the time lapse of my project is really informative for me. In fact, if you do use Procreate, turn the video capture on, turn the time lapse on. Even if you don't post it, just make sure you watch it like after like you put in a good bit of work, because it can be like a nice revelation for yourself to see like the time lapse of all of your hard work done. But yeah, I hope that helps. cannot recommend enough. We gave oh, you know what? I've got some character design notes we'd worked on last time. See? Look familiar? There's the page we drew last time. And then, yep, there's our character design notes. So now I can use this to remind me how to draw these two. It's so nice to have a place to... I'm very fortunate right now. It was very nice to have a place to be able to put up and hang up all of my art here at the studio. Here, I'll show you real quick. Let's swap back to main screen. I'm really fortunate to be able to have a place to put all of my art, to like literally hang it up or even just set it up on the easel to kind of like continue to inspire myself. I'm a little spoiled. I got 2 easels here in the garage. This one right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually got a mirror that I use for my reference building. This easel, this guy, I don't know if you can see it up there, right here. This easel, this actually was in the garage when we moved in. It was up here in the rafters right above my head. And it was kind of like a little serendipitous. You know, we moved here to kind of break into creative myself, to try and break into animation. And this easel is like 100 years old, easily. I think Jen is out there scaring the crows away because she hears them cawing and she doesn't want Buddy to get scared away. I think I just heard her clap at the crows because they were cawing, and I think that means Buddy is still out there resting. But yeah, this easel was a sign in a lot of ways. I gave up on my Christian trauma. I don't necessarily give that any credence anymore. But since the pandemic, I kind of fell into woology for just the fact that it kept proving itself true whenever I read a horoscope or kind of like looked at my sign and saw what it was saying. I couldn't deny what I was hearing. So needless to say, is Buddy okay out there?
I don't see him, but the crows were like triangulating, so I told them to all fuck off.
Yeah, they would do that. Oh, poor Buddy. So now we yell at crows when they pester our Buddy. It sounds like Buddy has maybe moved on. Did it look like he took any walnuts?
You would have seen him.
Oh, I meant over there. I didn't see him.
I put all the walnuts here.
Yeah. Say hi to Jen, everybody.
But I just want to make sure they weren't bothering him.
Yeah.
They were like circling around, so I just came out and scared them away.
I heard your claps.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know Buddy appreciates us. Sounds like the crows scared Buddy off, so. Oh, good. I'm glad someone's bullying them. Lobotomy. I have no doubt everything is fine. Speaking of, we're already an hour in. We've spent so much time talking to ravens, talking about ravens, talking about squirrels. Let's get back to it. So yes, that easel, I don't know, but I'm taking it with me whenever we move because it's mine. You know what? I feel like their heads and their torsos are too big. This is another reason. Yeah, that's better. I like to, when it comes to anatomy, whether it's a human anatomy or an animal anatomy, drawing in these simplistic forms again makes it so easy for me to manipulate their shapes and their value, like their their value of their silhouette. Oh, I hear Buddy. There he is. Oh, Buddy. Mrs. Poops McClure, I think I just heard Buddy honking as he flew by, so I do think he's okay. Yeah, you all have to let me know if you hear Buddy. He's got this very distinct. He sounds like a goose. I mean that in the nicest way possible. Thing about ravens I have learned is that a crow will go caw caw caw, but a raven, they kind of have a more like lower diaphragm sound. Sometimes it sounds like gronk 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 or honk honk honk. It sounds like Buddy's out there and he's doing okay. I can hear Jen talking to him. Sounds like he flew right back. Oh boy, those crows. If you hear that clapping, that's Jen fighting crows with sound right now. I'm not going to lie to you, everybody. I don't know how much squirrel drawing we're going to get done tonight because this just became a raven stream. So, welcome to Nest of Friends. Oh, yeah, I hear him. It's how productive we get here at Nest of Friends. Let me know if you can hear Jen going ha ha outside. Because I can. It is all bird propaganda.
He came over here to tattle on the crows.
He came over to tattle on the crows?
He just went across the street to the other tree.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but he was sitting in this tree.
Was he?
And then he was like, well, and then he went over there. And there were a bunch of crows.
Well, it sounds like he's in good spirits if he's willing to bully them back. That's great.
Well, he's having me bully them.
Oh, I see. So he's coming to Mom and he's having Mom yell at the crows. I love that. Hey, how did his eye look? Did you get a good look at it?
No, I can't see it.
Yeah, I think his eye is better. Jen is now going across the street to make sure Buddy is okay. But it sounds like Buddy is already doing better because he now knows he can come to Jen or I to yell at the crows that are bullying him. Look, I'm just grateful animal control isn't coming back for me. Look, come get all the Buddy updates when we do the workshop. Maybe what I'll teach you all to do is how to draw not just people, but maybe I can teach you how to draw squirrels and draw crows and ravens the same way. But yeah, so for the workshop, that's just going to be a figure drawing 101 workshop. We'll go through all like the tips and tricks I've learned back. Coming back? So, okay, sorry. So you all missed this. First 10 minutes, I was muted. I didn't even notice, and I made a bunch of announcements. I'll do those announcements real quick since we're at our midway. But just to give everyone the D and the L on everything that is going on, Sketch by Sketch and Nest of Friends. June 5th, that's our first Thursday at Geeky Tees. We're going to be doing Lore Olympus. Here, let me just go main screen. Love a transition. We're going to be doing Lore Olympus. It's going to be called Myth. You can see all the information right here at the QR code. And then, how is Buddy doing?
He's fine. He's eating a tortilla or something.
Who's giving him tortillas? We're giving him walnuts.
It looks like he's eating like a big piece of bread or a tortilla or a cracker or something. But he's sitting in the tree across the street eating.
Okay, good. I'm glad he's eating.
Yeah, but I think he wanted me to scare those crows away because he wanted to sit in that tree.
And have tortillas.
So now I'm a bouncer for this raven. I spent the whole stream running around chasing birds.
I don't know if you all heard Jen, but she just informed me that Buddy is across the street apparently eating tortillas or bread. But apparently Jen hasn't been able to get anything done this entire stream because she's basically been a raven bouncer for the last hour. Just so I can feel comfortable. But apparently Buddy's doing great. Somebody's feeding him bread. So
Feed him a tortilla.
yeah, tortilla. That's why our walnuts weren't good enough for him. He's like, I don't need your walnuts. Like the neighbor, like, can you see? Okay, she's gone.
He's probably over there hanging out with Tipsy. That's where.
The deep. Do you know how much lore I need to drop right now? And I haven't even done so much. I'm putting it in the comic.
But he's a new character now.
Oh, Buddy.
Okay, I'm going upstairs.
Jen says she's going upstairs. Let's see how long that lasts. Where was I? Okay. Doing the announcements all over again. June 5th, Myth. That is our Lore Olympus themed drink and draw. That is going to be over at Geeky Teas. Show will begin at 7:30. Make sure to get there early if you can. We had to push that one up a half hour because we have to get out early for the venue. So thank you everyone for working with us on the adjustments with that one. Then June 11th, we're going to do a drop-in, free drop-in over at Moby's Coffee and Tea. That's just our social hours where you can come, do some doodling with us, hang out, talk to Jen and me, like just be communal and support a local business while having some late night coffee. Then June 14th, a mere 3 days later, we're going to be doing our drawing workshop. This is our first live drawing workshop. We're going to be doing an intro to figure drawing workshop. So if you've come to our figure drawing in the past and you're like, you've ever had like the manic panic of overanalysis paralysis and you're like, I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do or how to start this. And you feel like you like need like a refresher, or if this is like your first time, come on in. It's going to be it's open to all levels. So if this is your first time picking up a pencil and you're like, I'm ready to like learn even just some tips or tricks to really help me figure out my technique, this is a great thing. If you're a seasoned vet and you're just looking for like something like nice that's not like graded, that can give you a little bit of a refresh and like help you up your game and maybe pick up a new trick or tip, this is also just as valuable. It's going to be active. It's going to be an active workshop. So we're going to treat it just like a figure draw. I'm going to have references for you all. And then we're just going to go through it with the same intervals that we do during Sketch by Sketch. So that way it's really familiar to you if you've been with us before, or if you're new, it'll hopefully give you a new kind of way to like game how you draw. Then June 20th, we'll be doing our Last of Us figure draw. It's titled Out for Blood. We're going to have Abby and a clicker, 2 models that evening for you to see all the cool ass figure drawings that you can make with that kind of characters on our stage. And then TBD on Catnip. Bless their hearts. They're figuring out what they're going to do that month. Once we know, you'll know. But if you want to know before everyone else, make sure to go to nestofriends.org. Thank you, Miss Poops McClure, for dropping that in the chat. Also scan this QR code. Get all those details. Get your tickets now. Make sure to follow us on socials. Make sure to subscribe to our Substack so you can get the fresh deets right in your inbox. That way you don't have to find it later and scroll through Instagram to remember where you saw it. All right, back to squirrel drawing. I know it seems like we haven't done a lot, but we have done so much. I'm realizing I probably should put a little bit more design analysis into the tavern, but you know, that'll come with time. So funny having Buddy come by, of all times. Not that I don't ever want him to stop by at all, but every time it's happened to me a couple of times now where I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'll ever see him again. And then he shows back up. So I had that thought yesterday, and now he's being treated like a king. I mean, I can believe that because that's how we met him. If I think I remember I had a dad outburst when I saw the crows trying to come by after we had already scared them off, and I saw one of them like try to swoop at Buddy, and I got so mad I didn't realize what did I say? It was so dad. I was like, "Hey, hey, you fucker! I don't know what's gotten into you, but fuck off!" It was like something so visceral and like so like get off my lawn to a bird. That's how much I cared about Buddy. Clearly, he's taking advantage of that affection because now he knows he's got two hairless apes basically defending him so that the neighbors can feed him bread when we're trying to give him perfectly good walnuts out of the shell and water. We'll document it next time we go yell at the crows. I wonder if I'm hearing the neighbor kids right now, uh, like trying to befriend Buddy. Like, don't befriend Buddy. He's my crow, my raven. He's everyone's raven. All right. I'm going to leave that panel. I'm going to do another panel. Oh yeah. The neighbors I've tried to say hi to neighbors after living here for a couple of years as we walk by and they'll just keep walking and I'm like, "You know who I am. You've made up your mind." Maybe that should be maybe that should be your stream, Mrs. Poops McClure. It should just be you live streaming your conversations with other birds and you yelling at the other birds for being bullies. I'm fine being a minion. That's job security. In this economy, I'd be so lucky. Even though I drew these a week ago and they're still pretty good, I'm glad I have all my references of squirrels posing so I can just give myself a pinch and see them all right there. Remember, references are just as important to drawing as having a pencil or a stylus or a piece of paper and an app. There used to be this whole rhetoric when I was a kid, and maybe this is still true in the art world, that, oh, it's cheating. You didn't draw it from imagination. It's like, where do you think the imagination got the idea? And helping it is only better. Yeah, the crows are talking shit about right now. I'm glad the chat is alive. Crosta. You guys are too funny. I'm glad you're all here. You guys are too funny. I'm glad you're the maniacs in this chat. I could probably frame this a little bit better. So for our podcast, one of the bonus tiers that we're offering is each guest gives me a prompt to draw for that episode. For our first episode, we interviewed director Mark Andrews, famously the father of one of our community members, but also the Oscar-winning director of the movie Brave. He gave me a prompt based on the last series that he worked on with Netflix, Supergiant Robot Brothers. And that prompt I am going to draw in Procreate specifically so I can use the time-lapse feature, but also to go back to what we were talking about between Affinity Designer and Procreate, I think Procreate is a really good drawing software for illustrators, for painters, for traditional artists. I think if you are a Photoshop person and you like to kit bash, or you come from a graphic design world, I think something like Illustrator or Affinity Designer is a really good transition if that's your mentality. But also, it'll help me showcase like the actual drawing process for the prompts, which we'll use in the videos, because it's going to be a video podcast too. I know, right? Because I love making work for myself. Wow, it's already 7:30. Look, thank Buddy for giving us tonight's entertainment. Also tonight's distractions. And I say that with love. I'm glad he's doing okay. As soon as I can get Buddy to eat out of my hand, the next trick will be getting him to bring us shinies and hopefully like $20 bills. Everyone go online and look up Crowbox. I have a friend of mine who was in the chat earlier told me about Crowbox. It is basically a Crovid training mechanism where you can get them to bring you things like coins or dollars in exchange for nuts. Someday I will build one, because not just the crows, not just the ravens, but we've got some whip smart scrub jays who thankfully I did see this season. They haven't been back recently. Corvid. Yeah, who are so smart. They outrun all of the birds and squirrels when we put out nuts. But yeah, if I can teach them to, like, you know, get me some money, that's the dream, right? At least pay for the nuts that I'm using to teach them. I was just trying something. I didn't like it, so I won't do it. I feel like Tipsy's got a huge head. I'm going to fix that right now. Just kind of doing some loose blocking. No, that's too tiny. That's kind of the same shape, isn't it? Call that good. Well, here's the best part about Allison and Maeve missing your killer jokes. This was a great workshop for you to redeliver that. Lobotomy. You could just send them the syndication of this Twitch and make them rewatch the 2 hours of us not drawing as much as we should have. Whatever that means. I'm just glad to spend time with you all. All right, I need a good pose for this one because I don't like that face. Yeah, that's the face I like. Let's do that one. You know what, here. I know, so much work just to go into drawing. And here we'll do a new one. That way I don't have to do so much moving around. Who doesn't like a bajillion layers in their Photoshop and Illustrator files? Am I right? Aw, which squirrel is this? Whose son is this? No, this might be Stubbs. Yeah, the short tail. Yeah, it's a boy. It might be Stubbs. This is from a while ago. We've got a lot of cast of squirrels. We've had so many come through and come up to our front door. This fella was waiting for me when I came upstairs, which is why if you've met me in real life, odds are, even if I'm away from the home, I've probably got at least a half dozen almonds in the shell, or at least 2 to 3 walnuts in my pocket at any time. You want me to tell them about the front door story? Which one? The time they tried to chew through the door, or the time that our first night in this apartment? I don't know how much drawing I'm going to get tonight. You're all just going to hear squirrel stories first night. Number 1, the first time. Okay. All right. Welcome to Nest of Friends Squirrel Chat. Okay. So Mrs. Poops McClure has requested it's funny lullabotomy. Okay. So sorry for the mic tap. I can try to still draw. You're right. Okay. So the very first time we stayed in this apartment, I have to go back a little bit. This is why it's hard for me to draw and talk. So the very first time we came to this apartment, not even the first night we stayed at the apartment. Oh, hey, Demi, welcome to the chat. Thank you for contributing. Make sure to follow and like and tell your friends. Okay, so the very first time we came to visit this apartment, we had just signed the lease and like literally drove over here the day before the previous tenant was supposed to be out. The woman, her name was Arlene. She's a whole other story, but we pull up. She gets the sense that we are the new tenants. We try to introduce ourselves. She doesn't even say hi to me. She doesn't even introduce herself. She immediately takes Jen's hand and walks her to the front door, the steps that lead up to our front door. And she's like, you have to promise me, no matter what, that you will continue to feed this darling squirrel. And we look up and there's a squirrel waiting by the front door. Now, she didn't name the squirrel, but we would call her Opal. After, at the time, one of our favorite characters on Critical Role. Shout out to Exandria Unlimited. If you know, you know. But Opal was... She gave off boomer energy because that was the vibe that she was used to with the previous tenant. Again, there's a story with Arlene. And I'm going to try to keep drawing while I talk this story through. She made Jen promise that we would continue to feed this squirrel. Now, she didn't know that Jen and I had no problem feeding small creatures. So the first night we stayed, I think we didn't have peanuts in the shell in the house at this time. We didn't take it that seriously. But the first night we stayed in this apartment, the next morning, I am woken up at 9 a.m. because I hear this. Literally, it's a rap. Someone's knocking at the door. That's what I'm telling myself. It's 9 a.m. We had just moved in. I don't even think our bed was constructed at this point. It was mattress on the floor. And I'm just like, who the fuck is waking me up at 9 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep in after just finally getting into an apartment? We had a rocky time getting introduced to LA. So the fact that we finally got an apartment after 9 months of being here, 9 months, like 4 months, 5 months. This was the first breath of fresh air we have gotten in a minute. It's 2021. Who's knocking at my door at 9 a.m.? I'm thinking to myself, I open the door. There's a security gate, so like a fenced security gate. I open the door. Who is staring at me? Eye level, upside down. It's Opal, the squirrel. Somewhere in her tenure with Arlene, she had learned how to knock like people in order to get attention. So literally, was a squirrel who had learned how to shake a security gate to get a human being's attention. Blew my fucking mind. So Opal is expecting service. Arlene kept her well fed at all times. So now I'm looking through the boxes in our kitchen for anything I can offer this squirrel so that she will not burn my house down. Because that was the energy she was giving off. So we had the pleasure of being Opal's live-in servants for about a month. Because shortly thereafter, this is first round of vaccinations era 2021. Jen and I are deciding, you know what, it's been a minute. Let's go back to New York and check on our people. Meanwhile, the whole time I'm like, what are we going to do about this squirrel? Exactly, Lollabotomy. What are we going to do about this squirrel? There's no telling what's going to happen if we leave and she doesn't get service. Well, our time with Opal was short but poignant because when we came back, she was gone. But who had just moved into the tree but the legendary Tootie and Tipsy, the heroes of our very own story. And ever since then, we have managed to keep them fed. Although at one point, somebody gnawed on our door because one of the other times we had gone traveling, this was after Opal. Someone had chewed on the weather stripping of the security gate and threw like a good inch to like a 6-inch to 8-inch long strip, like a quarter of an inch deep, into like this old wood threshold between the outside and the inside, because they were worried about us. They wanted to steal our stash of nuts. And that is, again, a lot of the inspiration for the very webcomic that I am trying to draw right now. So yeah, never a dull moment here at Narnia Nest, which is the name of our home, the Narnia Nest. It's actually Narnia Nest West, because the original Narnia Nest was our apartment in Astoria, Queens. My best friends and I in New York, we had come up with the moniker the Narnia Bros. You want tipsy lore next? Yeah, Everyday Life does make a good webcomic. I've told the Tipsy story. I'll tell it again. I'm sure I will. It's also a little bit of spoiler for the webcomic, but I mean, look, we had a cameo from Buddy tonight, and I just dropped some OG squirrel lore on you. Next episode, join us next week. I'll tell you the legend of Tipsies. Narnia Bros, please don't trade your family for sweets. I'll do what I can to stay alive in this hellscape, and especially if that means I don't get a beatdown from squirrels and crows. You know, we're getting down to our time here. Got 20 minutes left. Let's swap the playlist over to something more fun. Any requests music-wise for these last 20 minutes? Fudge it. We'll just go with Chappell Roan. Who doesn't love some Chappell? You want just bird sounds? This is the best bird sound I can get for you. Does anyone here follow Matt Baum on YouTube? He just did a Twitch stream last Sunday that was a lot of fun. He does like documentaries on gay culture, primarily from like a white male perspective, sure, but he did a video retrospective on Lwaxana Troi, played famously by Majel Roddenberry, the First Lady of Star Trek. And it was really fun. He did a live stream where he just watched all of Majel's greatest hits as Lwaxana, and we dissected it and we chatted with it. It was a lovely chat to be a part of, but it gave me the inspiration to maybe do some occasional like watch-alongs. So if that's something you all think would be fun, I'd love to do some watch-alongs with you all. Lwaxana is ahead of her time, honestly. And having a chat with Matt in chat about it was refreshing and fun. But yeah, go check out his video. It's called Space MILF. And here, I'll type in his name so you know who to look up, because there's an E at it. Matt Baum. If you give him a follow, tell him Nest of Friends sent you, because I was in there as Nest of Friends and I was just commenting away and he was chatting back, dropping the company names so many times. It was also nice to be in a chat room with like-minded weirdos who were there for the same reason, which was to celebrate Majel Roddenberry's best work ever. R.I.P. to the Queen. Touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me. I think what I'm realizing about the squirrel's tails is I can be a little bit iconic with their shape. So I'm going to try maybe see how I made this like divot in Tipsy's. And I kind of did it over here too. Oh, look at that. I'm a natural. I think what I'll do is I'll emphasize that over here as well. And I kind of gave Tootie this butt-shaped tail. So I think maybe this is a good use to help them stand out against each other a little bit. You can still watch the YouTube video Space MILF at Matt Baum's YouTube. By all means, go ahead and just drop a comment and let them know that Nest of Friends sent you, so that maybe we can kind of bring some of their community here, because that was a fun time. It was a very impromptu live chat. He actually did something cute. He live streamed on YouTube before the premiere of the YouTube video, and then he moved back over to Twitch to do a more extended, like, kind of like hang, where he just like played clips and like we chatted about it, and it was a fun way to celebrate Lwaxana. He also admitted that he's not a big, like, he loves Star Trek. It's one of his favorite IPs, but a lot of his commentary is just on gay media coverage in like the history of media and like what that's had as an impact on culture. But he admitted he had so much fun doing Star Trek that he might do like a Star Trek streaming summer. So if you follow him, bully him into doing more queer Star Trek commentary in general. But it was a lot of fun. Took up a lot of my time, but I also, you know, I was on the Nest of Friends Twitch, and, you know, he was shouting us out as I was commenting, so I'll definitely be back. Now I got to do all these thought bubbles of Tipsy's hypotheticals. I haven't even thought about all the hypotheticals that these could be. All Gucci sweaters are fake. I've got a pair of Louis Vuitton towels that are just as fake. More on that story later. Why does she have pink hair in an episode? That sounds familiar, but I don't remember. She's all wigs. Lwaxana is a wig queen in canon. She talks about her wigs on TNG. We also did discuss who Lwaxana would love more, Trixie and Katya or Bendela and Jinx. And we all agreed she's unanimously, she's a Jinx girly. Because the wigs, like that red wig from DS9, you all know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm realizing in this next panel with Tootie, it's a little too familiar to this top one, so I think I need to change it entirely. Who is giving me the most Tootie vibe? I meant Tootie when I said that just now. Yeah. Well, I guess the emphasis is on the mallet, so maybe I'll just have her looking at her sister. So I think I'm going to change her orientation this way. Apparently no one's yeah, well, you know what? How about this? I'll do it. We'll do a rewatch. We can do a rewatch together. We can all talk about our love of Loxana. Of course it's Jinx. Well, let's also remember Loxana's last episode, because they only give her like one episode a season, and it wasn't every season on TNG. I think the only season she doesn't do is 6. But in season 7, her last episode with TNG, it's a heavy episode. Basically, it's the episode that Troy finds out she had an older sister who died when she was just a baby. And it is definitely Majel's run for an Emmy that year. But that was like also, in my opinion, her most like the costuming like really tried to play into the mature theme, because Loxana for season after season before then was like giving drag a run for its money. You know, when you're like the most important person on Beta Z, you gotta represent. But for whatever reason, she was everything she wore was brown. It was like if Elizabeth Taylor designed a couch was the best way I could describe the attire in that episode, which, given the tone, makes complete sense. But I do think she makes up for it when she does her appearances on DS9, because that's the most color you'll ever see in Loxana before Majel regretfully passes away. I think God, when did Majel pass away? It was a while. But yeah, the brown does make you sad because it's a sad episode. Mininomenon. Oh yeah, that was a heavy one too. What was really striking about that episode too was like Kirsten Dunst is in that episode. This is like the same year as Interview with a Vampire comes out, and I think her agent was just trying to get her face out in as many places as possible. And there she is, baby Kirsten Dunst, as a telepath who just learned how to speak language for the first time. So she's got this like weird, like exposed brain prosthetic that is going on. There's so much going on in this episode. It's season 7. I can't remember the name of it. I can't. Dark Page. Season 7, the episode is called Dark Page. It's a heavy watch. I highly recommend just going through and watching all the Loxana episodes before you get to that episode, because it does give like a nice through line before you get dropped into like this heavy family drama between her and Deanna. Also, despite whoever decided to costume Loxana that episode, the best that either of those actresses have looked in the 7 seasons of TNG, because it took them 6 seasons to figure out how to do makeup. Oh yeah, and that's season 5 when she took Alexander Worf's son. That's the anti-Mame episode when she basically decides, okay, Worf doesn't want to be a father, so I'm just going to be a cool aunt to this child I met for the first time, and I'm going to take him to the holodeck to my favorite planet, this mud bath fuck planet, with this child. He's like 8 in this episode, and it ends with her, in protest, spoilers, doing a traditional Beta-Z wedding against this arranged marriage where they wanted her to wear clothes. But if you're a Beta-Z, traditional Beta-Z marriages, everyone in attendance, including the bride and groom, are fully naked. So she takes a mud bath multiple times, presumably nude, with a child who she is trying to expose to culture. And then the episode ends with her being naked in front of the entire Enterprise crew and their guests and Alexander. And we don't do that anymore. We just don't do that anymore. Diva is putting it lightly, lobotomy. But we just, as television consumers, as television makers, we just don't do that. And that's when I found out in that same Twitch. I'm just going to pivot. Thanks, Tootie. Love you. We found out in that same episode that on when Matt Baum was hosting it on Twitch, that at one point the Sci-Fi Channel had ordered a Loxana spinoff, and Majel Roddenberry was working on it and she was producing it. Supposedly there were already 100 scripts written for what was supposed to be a single camera sitcom set on Earth with Loxana, and we're presuming some human husband she had married. And I'm not lying to you, somewhere in the multiverse that exists. Like, it got made. They might have had 100 scripts written because this was 1992 television. Yeah, Bewitched in space, more like it. I did not know that until this Twitch stream with Matt Baum. So, like I said, give him a follow. Tell him Nesta Friends sent you. You know, if he does his Star Trek summer, I'm gonna be there because we just, Nesta Friends is just a Loxana fan account now. Like you can have opinions on Star Trek, but you can't deny the magic, the joy that Majel Roddenberry brought every single time she was on screen as that character. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Loxana forever, ride or die. And look, hey guys, gals, not my pals, we've done so much. Yeah, click it, clock it, gag, love it. We've done so much tonight. We did it. We did do a good amount of drawing here. Let's go back. Look at that. Like, I'm grateful for this. We could have done more if it weren't for our buddy making an impromptu visit and everyone reminding me how much I love Loxana. We shared a lot of good squirrel gossip. We dropped a lot of good squirrel lore. Yeah, no, this was a great start. It's definitely, we went from this, which is, you know, right here. Went from this all the way from this. Did that, this. Got to work with some reference. I'm grateful. We figured out a lot of our technical issues other than the first 10 minutes of me being muted. I'm really grateful for everyone who stuck around to watch it. Okay, I'll make sure to bring hot goss next time. We'll have plenty of hot goss. We've got so much more lore to drop. If for those who haven't heard the legend of Tipsy, I'll tell you the legend of Tipsy. We've got plenty of Tootie stories of her kicking crows. Please invite your grandma, invite all your nonas, all your nanas, all your Gigi's. All are welcome. Well, thank you for joining us, Demi. You are more than welcome. It's every Tuesday. Right now, that's Pacific Standard, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. We may just do some impromptu watch-alongs now that, you know, we're all here. But if you want to do some draw-alongs and some hot squirrel, raven, crow gossip, you come to Nest of Friends. Don't forget, oh, good. You tried the pencil holding technique too. That's 2 of you. Thank you for trying it out. I really do think it'll be a benefit. Yeah, no, it does offer a good amount of control. I will say it also makes it really easy to not drop your pen because, you know, it gets easy to, like, you know, release some tension if you hold it this way versus this way where you got to put it down to, like, really feel. We'll get some Abuela gossip in here. Like I said, Abuelas, Gigi's, Nanas, Grandmas, all are welcome here. Here it's at Nest of Friends and Sketch by Sketch. If you want to check out our IRL events, make sure to scan this code or just go to nestoffriends.org. You can also follow us at Nest of Friends on Instagram, at Sketch by Sketch on Instagram, if that's how you'd rather. We'll keep dropping the squirrel and the raven updates there. I guess that's where we should start putting some of our IRL squirrel and raven content. And look, we'll just say it. Our logo down here in the corner. The squirrel holding the pencil, riding the raven. Originally, we said it was a crow. I think it's fair to say, oh, hey, mermaid, good to see you. I think it's fair to say that is Tipsy and Buddy. So now you know. Oh, good. Glad you were here. Thanks for being here. You know, so if that's who our mascots are officially here at Nest of Friends. We're going to be dropping our merch store real soon. Our podcast is going to be going live next month. More information on that. Make sure you subscribe to the Substack. That's where we're going to be doing the podcast, and that's where we're going to be doing the tiers. So you're going to be seeing an update on a very affordable paid tier to help support us, but also get you some fresh content, brand new content. And yeah, we're still growing. We've got so many people who are helping us out, just like you, helping us grow and do more for our community here. And yeah, I'm excited for everything we've got going on. Our spring season was such a blast, and our summer season is just going off of that success. Season tickets are available now. You can get all of that information again at the QR code, but here, I'll close this out real quick with that lore drop. Why does my phone say 9:40 a.m.? What an interesting predicament. Also my iPad. I wonder if that's because it's plugged into the computer. But okay, we got hot deals right now. Right now, through the 1st of June, we've got 20% off of our Myth tickets. That's our Lore Olympus event on the first Thursday at Geeky Tees. So if you want to get 20% off your tickets, those are limited, but you can get them now if you go buy tickets. We've got a limited quantity of early bird, 2 for 1 for Out for Blood. That's our Last of Us at the end of the month. So you can get those tickets now. And then 35, that's a 3 and a 5, 35% off all summer season tickets for all of our events. That's going to be available through July 3rd. So you got a whole month to get a pretty monumental discount on season tickets. All of these are limited, so get them before they go. Yeah, we got early bird and a 2 for 1. So the early bird special is 20% off of, Oh, I'm sorry. It's a limited quantity of early bird and 2-for-1 for Last of Us. That's twice the deal for one event. So all that information, again, go to the link, nestofriends.org. Follow us on Instagram at Nest of Friends, link in the bio. We've got so many places for you to find us. Subscribe to us on Substack. Make sure you're following us here on Twitch so that you can join our impromptu watch along probably next weekend, because I like to punish myself. But this was so much fun, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being in the chat, for lurking in the chat, for joining in the chat. It was definitely great to have everyone here watching us take care of Buddy for that first hour, and then, you know, helping me continue to work on this amazing piece of art that we've developed right here. So I'm really grateful for all of you. Thank you for being a part of us on this journey. Thank you again for being a member of our community. And yeah, everybody, please, please, please have a great night. Be kind to yourself, and let's have Chapel take us out.